Alright, so in this video, you guys are going to see me create a cardboard relief. Now you can create this with any kind of cardboard cereal boxes. I used a frozen pizza box. Anything really you can find in your recycling bin, even like file folders, manila folders. You're going to need cardboard, paper, crayons or colored pencils work, glue, and scissors to get this one done. So I hope you guys are able to follow along with this next step, and I'm going to kind of show you step by step how we are going to create this, and in the end be able to create cardboard rubbings of the designs that you guys want to create. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so things you are going to need to do this printing. Cardboard, I am just using some stuff from a frozen pizza box. Any type of glue, glue sticks, liquid glue, whatever works. Scissors, please make sure you're careful. And something to draw with. It can be a pen, a pencil. It's not a big deal if you mess up on this one, so your choice. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to be making what's called a relief sculpture with this. And what that means is we start with a flat surface and then we build it out. So it gets higher and starts to create a low-scale sculpture that will pop off the surface of our cardboard. So I'm starting with just a rectangular piece of cardboard. It is up to you. Just make sure it's big enough to hold whatever you are trying to create. And you can make anything with this. So then I have a bunch of scrap pieces that I am going to be able to use while cutting this out, while creating all this. So I'm going to start in here, and I am, because I'm getting geared up for spring, going to create a flower on my board here. So on my scrap paper, because this is what's going to hold all my pieces, I am going to go ahead and draw out my designs. So I'm going to start with like 6 flower petals, and then I will see from there what else. Now you guys can create whatever designs you want. You could create flowers, you could create people, houses turn out really, really cool with this. I would just think about the kinds of shapes, the kind of stuff that you're thinking about and interested right now. I am going to make a circle for the center of my flower, and then I'm going to come back later and add a lot of other details for this. So then I can go through with my scissors, and I'm going to very carefully cut out all of my pieces. Alright, so now that I have the base for all of my pieces, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing those pieces down. So I'm just going to use a little bit. I don't need a lot of glue. Little dot. If you're using a glue stick there, you could even use tape for this if you needed to, and just put a little piece of tape so the sides aren't sticking out. But you would have to do it attached to the back. I don't want my pieces to peel up, but I also don't want to put so much glue that it's smushing out all over the board and making a big old mess. That will create far more problems. So I'm gluing mine down, making sure everything's gonna fit before the glue dries so that I don't need to move it. So that's always a good way to start. Make sure it's not gonna hang off the edge before you get going. You may even want to practice laying down whatever designs and pieces you make first before you glue them down, so that you know exactly where they're going to go. Alright, so right now I have one layer on my relief. So if I look at it, it sticks off a little bit, but not a lot. So now I want to start layering up and making it go higher and higher and higher, and kind of stacking some pieces together. So I want to come up with some more designs, some more details. You can see I saved a lot of these little scrap pieces from cutting out before, and I'm going to use those first before I get into cutting any more out from the big one. So I'm going to kind of fast forward through this and stack up a whole bunch of these other pieces to make some more designs on my flower. Alright, so I've got some. I think I'm going to add maybe some little vines or branches, kind of like a stem coming off part of my flower here. Using some of my scrap pieces that I have, make something a little more interesting coming off here. You could add leaves, you could add all kinds of other details to it, bee flying around it, something like that. So then I am going to let it sit. I'm going to let it completely dry. And once it's dry, I'm going to be able to take a paper and a crayon and do a rubbing of it to actually create a print, meaning a copy that kind of goes over and over again. And you can make as many of these as you want in as many different types of colors. While we're waiting for this one to dry, I can even show you one that I made earlier of a robot. So I've got kind of the head, the face, body, buttons, different things like that that I've put on my robot, and I was able to create a texture rubbing off of this robot that looks like this. So I was able to take my crayon on its side, lay my paper down on top of this, go over it, and create a cool texture rubbing, which I got from another art teacher, the idea for the robot, named Miss Cassie Stevens. So she does some pretty cool stuff, but you definitely want to make sure this is dry before you do it, otherwise your pieces can kind of go all around. Alright, so now that my cardboard is all nice and dry, I've gotten some crayons, white piece of paper, just regular computer paper. You don't want the paper to be too thick or it's actually going to be kind of difficult to use. I am going to completely cover my flower with the paper. Then I'm going to take a crayon, and it can be done with a crayon with paper on it, but I definitely like to use it without because then you can lay it on the side and get a much better texture rub on it. So I'm going to hold my paper still because if it starts moving around, it'll mess up my design coming through. I'm going to hold my paper still. I am going to lay this down over the top, hold my paper tightly with my hands, and I am just going to push. And as I push, that crayon is going to catch the design of my flower underneath, and I may have to kind of move the crayon in different directions to really catch the whole design. When I'm done, I should have been able to get that. And you can do this over and over again with different colors, different things. You could do multiple colors on one. You can go back and even draw and add in other details to it with the crayon once you're done. And the other thing is you can use this over and over and over again. So just like I can create other ones, create different kinds of designs, details, all of that to it. So this ends up being a really fun thing that you can kind of keep using over and over again and use it in a bunch of different ways. I'm actually going to show you something else you can do once you get tired of the crayon rubbing effect with this later on. So I hope you guys have fun. I hope you enjoy this. Show me your stuff, post it to me, email it to me, send it to me when you're done. Thanks, guys.